Thank you very much, Abdul Hai Mumin. And we're back here into the studios of Ghana Television, that's GTV. We are live on GBC News. We are also live on Radio Unique 95.7, on Facebook, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and on the internet, gbcghanaonline.com. It's been a very long stretch of a marathon for us here. We started this yesterday at 10 p.m., went through the night, and we're still up here this morning. I went through the entire process. It's been very rough in the chamber between the two sides. That's the NDC and the NPP. It all started when the clerk in Parliament said that he would not recognize the MP-elect for Assin North based on the injunction that was served him. That generated a whole lot of confusion, a whole lot of issues, and finally he was allowed, and the MP-elect for Assin North is allowed to go through the process and also to vote with a condition. And that's, well, whatever happens in there for him, Parliament doesn't take responsibility for any decision that comes up later that would affect him. Finally, the voting went through, and then the counting. And then from what we saw in there, it looks like the NDC nominee, that's Abang Bagbe, won. And it looks like, we've not had the final decision though, because they were jubilating and all that. Or someone also had to snatch the ballot papers and all of that. Later from Mumin, hearing that they were asking for recount and other issues. So that's the latest development, and it's been very, very interesting. Dr. Mauto is still here with us. Honorable Seth, the champion, had to take leave of us and to attend to other issues too. But Dr. John Mensa Mauto is still here with us. Doc, how's it been, the developments?
Judge, I think it's been, I would say, very insightful evening from yesterday to this morning. And we all know that serving God and country is what we do. Just as we've been saying since yesterday, the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic is going to be very interesting. Yeah. Historic indeed. And if what just happened is anything to go, then we are once again going to have a historic parliament where an opposition member becomes the leader of parliament. This has never happened in this country before. And it boils down to what we've been saying all this while. If really indeed this is what MPP had planned, then they should have saved us of all this trouble.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, just tell us that you want to give it to the opposing person, but I mean this is just conjecturing. Yeah, one may not know whether
we don't know exactly what's happening in
because you see, it boils down to democracy. It once again enhances our democracy. That yes, indeed, we have people with free mind who want their views expressed through the secret ballot. So. We still haven't heard, as to whether Honorable Abang had won. But if he has won, then the dynamics for the leadership of Parliament...
That's the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiri Nkwiti, General Mosquito.
Yes.
He's there with his deputy.
Yes.
Yes.
But you see, the events which unfolded even during the count, as well as the last one, the immediate one, where we saw, I didn't see the person. I saw someone. I don't know whether the person is a member of Parliament.
I'm sure the person should be a member. Having access
into the ballot. I mean,
and running with it.
In the full glare of the public. Everybody's watching. What examples are we setting?
Yeah, what examples are we setting?
It's just unfortunate that today's, world that there's digital everywhere. Children are watching you to have seen their father snatching ballot in the full glare of the global camera. No, it's unfortunate. I think we need to take a second look at the people we call honorables. Yes, yes. And I see most of the events that unfolded from yesterday till date.
The NDC has gone back to its
celebration
and
yes.
its jubilant mood.
So
yes,
it's possible what we heard out here is the case. Honorable Bagbin probably had won. That will also put the searchlight on this man as to who is Alban Bagbin.
Yes.
For some of us, as young as we were.
Before we get to that, you know, one of the problems that's actually caused the whole confusion has got to do with the secret balloting. When the NDC side was insisting that it needs to be secret, it's between you and the booth, and that's all. And the other side insisted that, well, when you do it, the web system, let your whip know exactly who you're voting for. Okay. Could that have made the trick for the NDC?
You know, the secret balloting is not a man-made. It's not. I mean, it's a constitutional provision. Okay. So the clerk was mandated to ensure that the voting was done by secret balloting. But just as Honorable Seth Yeboah explained,
Seth Champon
explained, in their own scheme of affairs, we have the chief whips of the various, I mean the whips of the various caucuses, trying as much as possible to whip their people in line to ensure that whatever the caucus has decided, okay, I mean, proud to even what happened. We were discussing it here, and he did mention that the secret balloting we are talking about may not be secret from the whips, because they are to ensure that the caucus's decision prevails. Okay, and I think probably for the first time that convention was overruled. Okay, to give into the proper provisions of the Constitution in connection with secret balloting to prevail. And that is what I believe that the NDC MP-elects fought for. And if you really want to know secret balloting, it tells you that this is the right way to do it, where people can express their sentiment. For all you know, there are a number of some MP-elects who are of the view that if they were asked to select between Alban Bagbin and Honorable Mike Okoye, they would prefer. But probably Mike Okoye has been imposed on them. So the issue about imposition of people on party members is another issue. All the parties have to look at it. And it seems whenever you have these two parties acting as incumbent, when they're in governance, they seem to commit the same offense, and you wonder why they cannot change. I mean, this caused NDC so much pain in 2016, where it was alleged that a number of their parliamentary candidates were imposed on them during their primaries. Some went independent, and they learned through that hard way, reorganized themselves, and came back. It happened to MPP in 2008. So it's expected that the MPP should have also learned. But here we are. We all heard what happened.
The politicians even learned the lessons.
we all heard what happened in this year. This year when
2020.
That is during the primaries, the MPP primaries, where a number of the electorate, the party electorate, alleged that there was some level of imposition of candidates on them. And the system was used to really impress upon them to even have their way through. So you see, some of these things will inform you. It's an exhibition of positive defiance. Okay. Yes. Because that opportunity must present itself for you to express your view, and that's the only way you can go about the whole thing. So as a party, I think the MPP have to take a second look at the way they go about selecting their various candidates.
Just to come back, is it interesting to have a member of parliament snatch ballot papers and ran away with it out of parliament. These are things that usually we see in general elections that are keenly contested. But if honorable members in parliament are going to do such, you ask yourself a lot of questions. Snatch ballot papers during counting and then run with it. And this happened in parliament. This 8th parliament has got a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of stories to tell.
Probably is a demonstration of what we are seeing today. It's a reflection of what you are seeing today. And I think you've mentioned a very serious issue here, that, you see, George, whenever such issues occur and there are no punitive measures taken against such people, I know very soon the committees will start. There'll be nomination for the committees, and in Parliament, they call themselves the master of their own, affairs. And we have the Privileges Committee. These are issues we expect that the Privileges Committee will sit on. If indeed they want to snatch that ballot, I didn't see, so I cannot really say it's an MP elect.
But I mean, to have access into the chamber itself, that itself is, I mean, it's not anybody at all who can actually have that kind of access into the chamber.
Chairman, you can't say that all seated there are
they're all MP
elects. Yeah, no, there could be some security guys
some
in there.
at the far end there, yeah.
Yes, and for you know, there could be some imposters in there. I mean, these are things that can happen. Well-known faces could be there. They have been coming there, and somebody have just told him to just go and snatch. We need to look at all this.
And I saw the look on Afenyo Makin's face when that incident happened. He was like so disappointed. He was like,
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, nobody will, comment such a behavior. Not even
his countenance wasn't that.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. So, George, Ghana is in for something different, and let me tell you, this is the year that we don't even know what will happen to the majority, as to whether the vote to continue when it comes to the selection of a majority leader. So is it that the ruling party would like to probably cede that's parliament to the minority as consensus to probably test the waters. Which I think, for me, we can only sit and conjecture that the NDC, if given that opportunity, will have Ghana as a country.
You know, earlier when we had Honorable Achamfonyo, you're also talking about Parliament operating in its true sense, and this time around not being, I mean, having that proper check on the executive, so that there's no clear-cut majority or minority. Now that if it happens that what we are getting, the information we are getting is confirmed that Aban Babin of the NDC is going to be the speaker, would that be that defining time for us to strengthen Parliament and have Parliament look totally different compared to what we had over the years in terms of accountability and to put the executive right on its knees and its toes?
Thank you. I think you've even answered the question. I mean, I mean, you partially answered the question. If you take a careful look at, or you do a careful introspection of what former parliamentarians who have gone through the mill will share with you, you could get that sense that, yes, indeed, some of these people still believe that their mandate to legislate, as well as have that oversight responsibility over the executives, have to a large extent been taken away from them through the provisions we have in the Constitution, which requires that a number of parliamentarians should be appointed to serve in a particular government. So you cannot really exercise those oversight powers, where you have someone to act as a check now being part of the system. Okay, so for over the years, it's something that they may be thinking about, and the opportunity has provided itself for which they have to exercise that. That is one. Now, you see, I mean, in all these, okay, we are a little bit skeptical. Look at the posture of a typical opposition party, where you can easily preempt that there will be a conscious effort, okay, to frustrate a certain government. That is a fear. But apart from that, we expect that a parliament like this will be very objective, peruse every document that comes in there, will speak to the issues. And Ghana at the end of the day becomes the winner.
The winner.
But not a situation where everything now becomes partisan. Don't forget that, yes, we've been saying this all day, that look, about 90% of issues are decided on consensus. Decisions they've told us 90%. So the few, as they call the things, are worked through committees, and often than not, there's always some level of disagreement when it comes to the House, okay, to the chambers. What it therefore means is that you cannot take away that level of partisan politics within the body politics in itself. Parliament. It is there, but as I mentioned earlier, these two parties must know that Ghanaians from today onwards, we are watching. We are watching. And the opportunity has been provided for both parties to ensure that, look, let me justify the fact that we were voted for to pursue the interests of Ghana first, but not only our political parties. And if the average Ghanaian gets that sense and believe that this time powers and authority was given to the opposition, even in the midst of a ruling party, to manage the legislature, and this is the way and manner they manage the businesses, the business in Parliament. There's a possibility that when we give you the government, you can do better. And it will now, to a large extent, move our democracy from where we have started all this while to another level. So, George, you see, it's an opportunity for both parties to change or shift from the normal year ways of doing business in Parliament, and then do proper document perusing exercise, and then will not only be influenced by the executive to accept everything that comes in there. And in this Parliament, I can say that some of the bills that were sent to Parliament are already dead. I don't think.
Why you say that?
Oh, Chairman.
George, you might be surprised. I mean, it might be very friendly to the executive. Very friendly to the executive.
You see, if we look at the posture of some of the bills that came in there, some of the agreements that came in there, some of them will not pass through. If adequate changes are not effected, which will benefit the future of this country. And George, you see, we've been lamenting all over the years, and both parties are culprits. Both parties are culprits when it comes to just allowing things to go because we have the numbers. Okay, just allowing anything to go because we have the numbers. I'm going to predict again that, look, we are going to have, we may not have so many walkouts this time.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
No.
Because it's an NDC speaker.
No. So what do you gain? What do you gain now?
You have to confirm that, though.
No. I mean, if anything is to go by what we are hearing. Okay. What do you gain by working out as opposition? When in actual fact, the leader of the House is one of you. And he's sitting I mean, leading the House, what do you gain?
That's true.
Boycotting parliamentary proceedings.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if they go ahead with the threat to boycott this morning's inauguration service.
Actually.
Because to a large extent, they should know that their colleagues from the other divide believes in a candidate they have presented. Okay? So it tells you that even though partisan, they believe in espousing some other, sentiment that are hidden in there. That
on the videos we're watching now, if you look at the countenance of the two sides, now it's on the well, just have a full shot now. But earlier it was on the NPP, then it went on the NDC. Body language and expressions on their face tells a lot as to exactly what's happening in them. If you're just joining us, it's our coverage of this entire process that started yesterday, where the 7th Parliament was dissolved at midnight yesterday, and at the 8th Parliament, it's yet to be sworn in. The question is going to be why? Because there are lots of issues that happen over the night and into the evening, deep into the night, and of course into dawn. Then this morning too, various confusion, various misunderstanding, and finally it was resolved. So there was this secret balloting that had to go off to select or to elect a speaker for the 8th Parliament. Two candidates came up. That's the speaker for the 7th Parliament, Professor Michael Kwe, and Abang Babe, who was the second deputy speaker for the 7th Parliament. After the counting, interesting, not even after the counting, but during the counting, someone just snatched the ballot papers right in the chamber. I had to just run over there. Later we're told that it looks like Abang Babe was really taking the lead and won that bit of being the speaker of the 8th Parliament. We have to confirm that though, because we're waiting to know exactly what the Clerk of Parliament is going to say, and we're waiting for the leadership of Parliament as to that how it's going to roll out. So we're having our own conversation and having that teach us here. Look, let's move beyond this and let's look at this 8th Parliament.
Yeah.
We have a lot of first-timers coming in. And before this, when both parties organized their primaries, the leadership of the two parties, that's the NDC and the MPP, got worried because they realized that a lot of the old hands have been voted out and there are new people coming in. So the possibility of having new people, over 100 of them coming in to Parliament was that high. Their worry was that it takes away the experience. It takes away that institutional memory. It takes away that skills that usually the old members of Parliament come with. And it's going to pose some bit of difficulty to the new Parliament because you now have to take them through the entire process. Some who did not agree with them said that, well, those who were old and they've been kicked out were once new. And they went through the process. So these ones can also go through the process. Let's look at the new crop of people that are actually coming into Parliament now from both sides. What they add to the table, or whether it's going to take that long of a time for them to gain grounds and understand parliamentary work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, George. I think this is. It's always been an issue of concern when it comes to a new parliament. But where I sit, I can tell you that the current parliament, for the past 3 parliaments we have, you cannot say that they are worse off as compared to the 92, 93, 95, 96. You can't tell me that. You see, yes, indeed, there might be a lot of new ones in here, which poses a problem that we have newcomers in there. They have to go through the mill for some time, go through training for some time before
to understand.
Okay. And this challenge, I'm not blaming anyone, but blame the political parties as well as the Constitution.
Okay.
I got a Constitution.
Let's start with the Constitution.
Thank you. The Constitution. The eligibility of a parliamentarian, so generic about the legality, the age-wise, nothing about some professionalism that you should go. Okay, it only gave a generic eligibility
It's
criteria.
the people's representation.
Thank
so
you.
It,
So you see,
to have that
it's
sense of the people.
something the Constitution will not cure. The problem our parliamentarians, the seasoned ones, always mention that, oh, whenever we change, this is what happens. It can't cure it. So the question is, how do we cure it? Yes, indeed, it's worrying that you have all, I mean, for instance, look at Seth Achampo. When I was at Achampo yesterday, you see, this is a very brainy man. He's gone through the mill. He's gone through the mill, served 3 times in Parliament, and you could see that when he got to his peak, now can share experience and train more, and then even help to move business on the floor. He was voted out of power. So it tells you that it dawns on the existing ones. So at any given point in time, you have few ones in there, the fortunate ones, always have to train, and when it gets to a stage, then they are voted out by their various political parties. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we need to look at how to cure this particular problem, else to continue. And the problem, as I mentioned, it was created by these same MPs. Once again, you see, recently I overheard some of them saying that, yes, indeed, MPs are partners in development. Please, you see,
that was going to be my next.
The Constitution is so emphatic. The mandate is to legislate and have oversight responsibility. Not to go out there and develop your area.
But they're giving common funds.
You see, those common funds, are you okay?
They're also giving common funds.
You see, else we don't need any MCE. We don't need the district chief executives. Because they are mandated to serve as the CEOs of those district and municipal assemblies. But here we are. The MP also want to do same. And when they go out there to solicit for votes, what they do is to tell them that when I come, I'm going to construct roads. I'm going to lobby for roads. When you know in actual fact that you don't construct roads.
That's true.
That is a problem. If this is not cured, you know, I mean, in the U.S., senators, parliamentarians, congressmen. Okay, it's like a profession, because you are only interested. You master how to legislate, how to make laws. That is the reason why you are voted to Parliament. Are you okay?
Yes.
So when you misrepresent yourself at any given point in time, it simply means that you always have to go out to your constituent to tell them different stories at every given point in time. So the problem they seek to cure cannot be created by themselves. Now, how do we cure this? It has come to stay with us. It has come to stay with us. So there's a number of calls. I think that the recent one was from Honorable Kujato Ablakwa, who is of the view that yes, indeed, the MPs are also partners in development. Therefore, there should be some adequate and sufficient funds allocated to them to also take up development projects. I disagree with him. I disagree with him.
But they're representing their people. They're representing the constituent. So at least in that representation, the people even recognize them more, even than the MC or the DC. So why don't we change things now and allow them to move beyond 1 or 2 things in helping with the developmental growth of the people? Yes, I get I get that and all that. But I mean, as how we have it now, that's what we have it now. They are engaged in all sorts of things. They pay school fees. They pay, you name it, hostel fee. They do almost everything. Things that those in their constituents will never even go to the DCE for that. So why don't they just allow them to go?
That is the misrepresentation they pose to the electorate. So they'll surely come back for that. Okay? But most importantly, how do you cure this? And that is exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe it is time we look at how to probably make them, even though I disagree with that concept, because it's overwhelming. Virtually all the constituencies, that's what happened. And when they come to campaign, and even when they are blowing their horns as to what they have done, oh, I have constructed this number of roads, I've done this, I've done that. When in actual fact, we know you did not construct. So you see the mispresentation here. You did not construct the roads, but rather the allocation to the district common fund is what was used to construct the road. Yes, indeed, some lobby for projects and all that, we know. But the most pressing issue has to do with the legitimate work they have been mandated to do. Yeah. Which most or some of the senior guys have really complained. They have lamented over the years. Yeah. That, you see, it's appalling that when it comes to lawmaking, when it comes to perusing documents, which is so much of interest, some of the MPs are not there to work. And the reasons given, or some don't even know it, they don't want to learn, and they are not up to legislators. If you are probably have been following, that's one problem too in Parliament. Yeah. So and for that problem was, I mean, created by this constitution here. It can be cured by the parties. Okay, you see, we should have the country at heart, and I think it is time for our political parties to take it upon themselves to start developing their own before they come to Parliament. Because you see, there are some constituencies. So let's assume that there are strongholds of MPP. We also have strongholds of NDC. Yeah. If you have a policy in place that, look, whenever we finish our primaries, because we want to be superior, we want to present superior arguments, facts. We want to help Ghana develop through the legislature. We will train our people before even the main contest, because we don't know who will win. Yeah. There's a time we could say that we are curing this deficiency of knowledge in lawmaking. Because Parliament, it will take a long time, sometimes 2, 3, maybe a whole session for someone to even understand the concept. And myself and
you are taking to give power for training and all that.
Those ones, it will be quite difficult. Now, my brother George, I'm a professional. I mean, I'm a finance and accountant person. Okay. If you really
You've been a student leader before. So.
Oh yes,
yeah. Very thick in the student
leadership. Yes. I mean, sometimes we miss those days. You know? That's why yesterday, I mean, when they were heckling themselves, for me it was normal. And I even told you that, look, those days when you go for news congresses, we can initiate voting by maybe 8 a.m. to start, but we end up starting around 12 midnight. And then we vote throughout the night, and then the following morning we finish and we are gone. It happens.
Just like what happened there.
Like, I mean, I'm still here because something that I'm used to. So you see, it is time the political parties admit that, look, our constitution, because of the way it was framed, the people's constitution, the parties cannot also make provisions in their partisan constitutions which will contradict this one. Okay? So they also open up. So we may have MPs who cannot even, sorry to say this, it's the people's constitution. But we don't speak Tree, we don't speak Gan, we don't speak Ewe in Parliament.
No, we don't.
So if your MP cannot speak English, then what is the criteria for selecting that MP to represent you? We've made some gains over the years. But here, now it has moved beyond speaking English to lawmaking. Are you okay? And we all know that, yes, indeed, we will need more lawyers in there because it's about making laws. It's not true. Yes. And apart from lawyers, we also need other professionals. and if you look at the spirit behind this constitution, it requires that we have the house will reflect everybody in there. I mean, the formal and informal sector. Are you okay?
Yeah.
But we've gotten to a stage that we need quality. So to cure this in the short term, what I can tell the political party is to start looking at how to train people before they come to parliament.
Okay.
So that the parliamentary training will just be an orientation. Okay? It's because you should know the processes of making laws. You know the processes of perusing documents. Look, perusing documents, like, you know, sometimes you listen to some argument on on TV espoused by MPs, and it's laughable. You can't blame them because they don't know. When a budget is put before you, budget, which presents the financial projections of the country, and you can't make meaning into it as an MP, then who are you representing?
The people.
The people. You're a liability.
So let me read some messages. I have one. This one says that, you see, to cure the issue of people expecting MPs to develop their constituencies, the district common fund portion given to the MPs should stop. We must also be looking at voting for DCs by the constituencies, and MPs are elected by electoral college. Okay, there is a lot of work for us to do. I'll continue with the text messages when we return from the Parliament House. I'm taking you back to the Parliament House this time around to join Abdul Hai Mumin once again to give us an update as to what's happening in Parliament. Over to you, Mumin.
All right, we have been here all night, and I'm sure we earlier brought you that report where you saw the members on the side of the NDC jubilating and singing songs of victory. That is because when the voting was done and after the counting was done, it was clear that the candidate who was presented by the NDC side in Parliament had won the vote over the NPP's candidates they presented for the speakership of the 8th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Now, this is what transpired throughout the night when proceedings began after the Clerk of Parliament took his seat. We saw... And of course, Honorable Yusuf Suleimana from the NDC side will join me at the moment. Honorable Suleimana is the MP for Bole Bombo. Honorable, thank you very much. And you've had a very long night. And we saw you singing songs of victory.
Yes.
Why?
First of all, let me give thanks to the Almighty Allah for showing His mighty. You know, when God speaks, no amount of whatever can change it. God is speaking in Ghana as we speak. We went into this race this night. The NDC presented the second deputy speaker in the 7th Parliament. That is Alban Kingsford Sumani Bagwin. And so we have some challenges in terms of what the procedure. For instance, in the constitution as well as our standing orders, voting is supposed to be by secret balloting. Our colleagues on the other side didn't see the need to go by the constitutional requirements, and we resisted it and said that, look, we can't sit here and be breaking rules, breaking constitutional no, we wanted to do writing. And that was why you saw that we started the voting somewhere along the line. We had to stop it. Okay? Now, leadership went into a meeting and I agreed that let's go by the details of the constitution and as well as the standing orders, that voting should be secret. Then we went on. Even when we were doing it, they devised a plan where somebody would take it and slide it. Somebody was sitting there to look at it. That didn't save them. At the end of the day, all of us elected members of parliament, counting 275 were present, and we all voted. Now the sorting was done, and we were supposed to count the sorting. We started counting, and we got 136. That was what Professor Kwe got. And there was also one ballot, a spoiled ballot paper. If you look at that one self, the person voted for Bagban, but I said no, it was a, then we agreed. Then we're supposed to now count the rest of the ballots, okay, after we have sorted them out. So 138 ballot papers were supposed to be counted. Just as when we're about to do that, my good friend Carlos thought he's a trained thief. And so he came in and snatched the ballot papers and ran away with them. Okay?
And we saw you chasing after him.
This is a disgrace to our democracy. That we're still outside there, and now we have to even come to the chamber and still.
Okay, let me.
And that is the MPP doing this. It's a shame.
Honorable Samuel, yes.
National world must be watching this. They have destroyed our democracy.
Honorable, I'll return to you shortly, but Honorable Samuel.
Let me add this. My brother is here, and I was got disappointed in him. A very good brother. I met him by the corridors, the corridor here. You know what he told me? That he had promised the president that tonight they were going to get a speaker, and that he swore by his grandfather, that they were going to get a speaker by Kuko. We don't do that. Right. And so immediately after he said that, they asked that military and police should come inside. This is unheard of. It has never happened anywhere. We were there, armed military men with their munitions and guns, everything, moved in. And we said, kill us. You have killed some in Techima. So if you kill us, what is it? Okay. The truth of the matter is that.
So, Honorable, I'll return to you.
Yes. And other places.
Honorable,
we're not different.
Honorable, I'll return to you. I'll return to you shortly. But Honorable Samuel Bujinapo also joins me. He's the MP for Damango. Honorable, thank you very much. We've heard from the side of the NDC, and indeed we witnessed some of the scenes ourselves where it was supposed to be secret balloting, but we saw some members on your side, especially between 3 and 4 a.m. after voting, would turn around and show their ballots to the rest of the members seated, which was what the NDC members were against. What happened, Honorable?
Well, first of all, I'm a Christian, so I don't swear. So if he says he's my brother, he should learn to put matters straight. Yes, I did tell him that we are determined to win the speakership, and he's also determined to win his speakership. So I am. When you were speaking, I was quiet. Please, can you politely listen to my submission? That is how we engage. Yeah, that's how gentlemen engage. So I am a Christian, and I don't swear. So please, that is absolutely unfortunate to say. I don't swear. Now, what has happened, first of all, is that I think a lot of things have happened since 12 midnight to this morning, which are unfortunate, and which all of us must bow our heads down in shame. And there's a sad, dark day for Ghanaian democracy. It's a sad, dark day for Parliament, and I think it's most unfortunate. There were several occasions when members of the NDC came and snatched ballot boxes in the Parliament. I saw it, and I said to myself, my first day in Parliament, I have not found it interesting at all. I feel very, 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 very ashamed about what has happened today. And of course, there were countless occasions when some of us had to even intervene to try to save people from near fisticuffs, almost blows in Parliament. And all of us have been, of course, not him, but all of us have been preaching the politics of consensus, the politics of togetherness, non-violence, and this is the this is the microcosm of the Ghanaian.
The root cause of that problem.
Yes,
right.
This is the microcosm of the Ghanaian people. This is the representative of the Ghanaian people. So I think all of us should bow our heads in shame. And the way we have gone about handling this matter, I dare say, it's a product of what has just taken place now, which has put us in this conundrum and this mess. Now, what is my view of what has happened? We went and cast the ballots. Professor Michael Quay's votes were counted. They were not even declared. So as I speak, I don't know how many votes Professor Michael Quay got, because his votes were counted. The counting was not done audibly enough for us to hear. I didn't hear the counting as it's normally done with voting in Ghana, 1, 2, 3, where you get to 139 or 136 and you leave it there. It did not happen. So when they finished the counting, the clerk of parliament who was presiding did not declare the votes of Professor Michael Quay. Honorable Alblem Babin's votes were not even counted. So we don't know how many votes he got. It could end up, as he said, that Honorable Alblem Babin would have gotten 138 votes. That's conjecture. We also could have ended up with him with 135 votes. That's also conjecture. We could have ended up with 134 votes. That's conjecture. 275 people voted. Somebody may not have put the ballot in a ballot box. Somebody may not have voted correctly. They may have counted Professor Okoye's votes, Honorable Albin Babin's votes, and then whilst counting Professor Okoye's votes, you could find Honorable Albin a vote which was mistakenly put in his pile. Vice versa could happen. So my take is that it's a real mess, and we're all patiently waiting to hear what the leadership of Parliament.
But what is it that could have inspired one of your members, Honorable Ahenkra, for example, to, and we all saw it, our cameras were all over the place, to snatch the box and attempt to bolt with it?
What could prompt Honorable Muntaka to snatch a ballot box?
That I can't answer for him, but you are a member of the MPP. One of your colleagues performed an action.
I'll give you an answer to that, but with the greatest of respect and in all modesty, what could have warranted a chief whip of Parliament to snatch ballot boxes on almost 3 or 5 occasions? On one occasion, when he tried to snatch the ballot box, all of us tried to prevent him and to prevail upon them not to snatch the ballot. They pushed us on the floor. I fell on the floor. What would prompt a majority chief whip to snatch a ballot box? What will prompt the NDC caucus to be as rancorous as they've been since 12 o'clock? What could prompt that? What Honorable Ahenkra did is unfortunate. What he did is unfortunate. I don't condone it. But I'm saying to you that it's a product of what has transpired all night.
Okay, so you asked me a question, and without yes,
invite him to join me to say to the Ghanaian people that what has happened all night is a big shame. What has happened all night is a big shame, and we have to admit it. This is why we are in this mess. If we allowed ourselves to cast the ballot and the will of the members of Parliament who are representatives of the Ghanaian people prevailed, if it was Babin, Honorable Babin, so be it. If it was Professor Michael Kwe, so be it.
Honorable, I'll return to you shortly. Yes.
My conclusion is that we have an inconclusive elections, and if I had an opportunity to make an input, I would say let's quickly come together, let's keep ourselves orderly, and let's cast the ballot again, and let the will of Parliament prevail in the election of speakership for the 8th Parliament of Ghana. By all indications, from whichever way you look at it, the elections is totally inconclusive.
I'll return to you very briefly before you go, sir. But obviously, questions have been asked, and we also witnessed from midnight all the confusion that took place in the Chamber of Parliament. For example, Honorable talks about the snatching of the ballot box by the chief whip and so on. What could have prompted that as well?
So first of all, let me put on record. My brother says he's a Christian, I'm a Muslim. And I'm putting on record that he's told me that he swore by his grandfather and that he had promised the president and that he had, Master, just keep calm. When I was talking, I didn't rudely interrupt you.
Please talk to me, sir.
Yes, so he didn't rudely interrupt me.
Talk to me on
what I'm saying is that he told me that he, Honorable Abu Jinapo, had promised the president and that he was going to deliver a speaker today. And I'm telling him that he has failed in doing that. That's the first thing. Okay. Now let me come to the substantive issue. Yes. We in the NDC, and for that matter the minority, we are not ashamed of what happened in terms of we insisting that the constitution should not be breached. Anybody who is seen to defend the constitution should not be ashamed of ensuring that this our constitution, okay, the Ghanaian constitution, is preserved.
We are saying boxes that, and the kicking of the boots.
Listen to me. We are saying that per the constitution of this country, we are supposed to do a secret balloting. Per our standing orders, we're supposed to do secret balloting. And so if you have your men who are insisting that they will breach that constitutional arrangement, we have every right to defend the constitution. And that's exactly what we're doing. In any case, let me say that they should be ashamed that they have stolen out there and now brought it to Parliament to still.
Thank you. Well, point where you
know, the MP for Bole, I'm putting him to strict proof. The man is inner smoke, is a warrior smoke. So the point is that I think on a more serious note, take it easy.
Thank you very much.
On a more serious note, I think the elections is completely inconclusive. We have not been able to elect a speaker. It's most unfortunate. We have not been able to elect a speaker, and I think that the leadership of Parliament should find a way of resolving this, and if possible, I think that should be the route. We should quickly reorganize the elections, and then we can have a proper elections, have proper results declared, so that whoever wins will be the Speaker of the 8th Parliament.
No, but thank you very much, and moving forward, we hope to have a lot more conversations with you. Honorable Dr. Abdul Rashid Pelpo is the MP for West Central. Indeed, before he went in just before midnight to sit in throughout the process, we had a conversation here with him. When we had that conversation, Honorable, I'm sure you least expected that you would stay in till this morning. This is perhaps the first time that Parliament has had to sit on a day like this, on a night like this, and spend the whole night there.
We're back into the studios here and working on that picture. Sometimes working with there. Back into the studios. This is Ghana Television, and this is Unique 95.7. We're also live on the internet at gbcghanaonline.com, on Facebook, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is George Sapo. We're running with you all the way from yesterday into today, where the 7th Parliament was dissolved at midnight of yesterday, moving into today for the inauguration of the 8th Parliament, which is yet to be done after a speaker will be or has been elected. So those are issues and events we're following up for you here on Ghana Television. Also waiting for the inauguration of the president and the president-elect this morning. We're told that's going to happen at 10, but the way things are going, I doubt if we can actually make up that 10 o'clock time. Until everything in Parliament is done, that swearing in cannot come off. So we'll have to finish whatever exercise has been done in Parliament. I still have with me here in the studio Dr. John Mensah Mauto, who is doing graduate studies, UPSA. You listen to the two, Honorable Yusuf Sulemana, Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy, and Abu Jina for Damango. Abu saying that the elections wasn't conclusive, so they should go for a new one and all that. You want us to sit through?
George, if I could deduce anything from what just happened, I mean, what has happened throughout the night to this morning, then I think what the MPs normally come out to say publicly, it's not a true reflection of what they stand for.
Yeah.
And one could easily say that most of the electoral violence perpetrated by their respective political activists are influenced by them. Because these are things we speak against. And they are now perpetrating it on the floor of Parliament. What is it about electoral violence that we are speaking against that they have not perpetrated in Parliament today? They have executed it from the first issues concerning electoral violence to the latter. Everything, issues of snatching ballots was executed in Parliament. Today.
Issues of snatching ballot box.
Issues of destroying, not even, is it the Carlos Ahincre's own was to snatch the ballot papers when it was counted. We saw the NDC side also destroying the ballot boxes. This tells you that what they preach is not what they practice. So as long as we have these people in Parliament, how do you think that the followers will not do same?
All right, we've worked the movement's line. Let's get back to Parliament. I understand that he's talking to one of our touch here. Yes, let's move on to movement.
Takes to have a recount, but it shouldn't be whimsical or fanciful that you think that, oh, you've lost and therefore they should do a recount. I have not heard the basis for the recount. If there's sound reasoning for the recount, why not?
And just before you came in, I was speaking to Honorable Rashid People, who is still here with us. I asked him about the scenes in Parliament from midnight till about early this morning, scenes that Ghanaians are particularly not proud about. To see MPs, honorable men and women such as yourselves, sometimes physically engage each other, snatching ballot boxes and kicking booths and so on. These are scenes that you yourselves shouldn't be proud of.
Yes, I'm not proud of it at all. It's shameful. And people didn't know that the cameras on them. The mayhem that happened in the chamber is not worthy of our name. It was a dishonorable act. I saw somebody kicking, the stage for the balloting. Somebody lifting the ballot box and things like that. Is that the kind of caliber of men who should be making laws? I was a bit disappointed with what my doctor friend said. That, in the, general elections, there were mayhem. So does it mean we should export it here? We should be elevated above that and make sure that we show this nation that we are a bunch of decent men and women trying to help in lawmaking and also, do government business. But to reduce where the highest level of thinking should be into some of cacophonic, violent posture, to the extent that even military people were invited to bring us to some sanity. I am disappointed to that level. The way it was done, it's not worthy of us.
But before I bring Honorable Dr. Rashid back into the picture, from a neutral observer's point of view, the whole brouhaha started when your members insisted, despite the clear rules that had been set out, that the balloting, according to the rules, it was expected to be secret balloting. Some of your members, especially those who cast the first ballot, openly showed where they voted to the rest of the members, which for your opponents was a clear flouting of the rules.
You don't know the intelligence they had, you understand? And it's shown that somebody has infiltrated our camp. And they want to be sure that everybody will toe the party line. Even if you don't want it that way because it violates the law, that shouldn't license you onto this kind of mayhem, routing, revolutionary nonsense, people want to call it. Singing in the chamber as if we are in a war zone. Let's have some decency. We are supposed to be honorable people. The whole society, we mirror our values and the rest of it. I'm disappointed. We shouldn't say, even if somebody is misbehaving, the word to resolving such a problem is to act worse than the one who is misbehaving. Now, where is your elevation in terms of culture and manners?
Honorable, when I return to you, my very last question, and I want you to chew on that, will be, so the point at which we are now, there's still not a declaration, and yet we have a swearing in that is expected to come off in a few hours. It appears as though we have a constitutional crisis because there appears to be a certain vacuum. If not, you tell me about that when I return to you, sir. But Doc, very finally, before I let you go, so at the moment, no official declaration has been made, but you have been celebrating.
We are celebrating because we know the results. And it did not guarantee or warrant any unruly behavior, any thuggery inside Parliament for a person of his caliber, a member of Parliament, to go snatch the ballot papers and started running away in a very disgraceful manner. This is much more condemnable and criminal than what happened earlier on, because the lives of people are at stake. And that's what happened. And let me tell you, we talked behind the scenes. We pleaded with our friends, don't do that. We are all, look, we lost the elections and we complained that we have been stolen. We are coming here before members of Parliament. You want to steal the election again by showing your vote, compelling everybody to show their votes. We said no. Let everybody go and vote in a secret manner as dictated by the law, the Constitution. They insisted they wouldn't do that. And we understand that sometimes unruly behavior can also bring people into correct thinking. In fact, that is the reason why they brought in the military. because they thought that being unruly and bringing in militaries who are not supposed to be on the streets to the house of the people. The military are supposed to be outside the jurisdiction of governance. They should not be inside where civilians are. They have bypassed all that, brought them inside the legislature, intending to use them to terrorize, as they use them to terrorize people during the general elections. We insisted that we will sing the praise of God, we will sing revolutionary language, and we will insist that we remind ourselves that we spilled blood to build this democracy. From 1992, when our tradition insisted in ensuring that we move in a democratic way, we have followed it. We have insisted that we should go that way. We have all benefited from it. We will not deviate from it. So let me explain that what happened earlier on by us, we don't like it also. I agree with him. We don't like it too. In fact, we don't like the whole idea when unruly behavior comes in. But it is important that we insist on doing the right. If even in doing so, people can call you rude, it's important to insist on your constitutional rights. It is our constitutional right for us to vote secretly, for us to have a winner, and for the winner to assist in the inauguration of the president. Right now, I just pray that we don't go thinking about counting, voting, anything at all. We want to have the president inaugurated. Let not any tag benefit from his taggery. Let not any unruly behavior inside there benefit from it. His action by collecting the ballots and running away should not benefit anybody at all. Shouldn't benefit himself. We know the results, declare it, so that we can go. I want to go and see my president be inaugurated.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable. We wish you well, and I hope to speak to you in the future. So, Honorable, you are a lawyer, and that's why I reserved this question for you. Should this process delay any further? Because at the moment, we don't even know what's happening behind closed doors amongst the leaders and so on. And we are scheduled to have a swearing-in ceremony today. Should there be any further delay, we certainly will have a constitutional crisis on our hands.
At all, we shouldn't delay any longer. And I think regarding the position of the first deputy speaker and the second deputy speaker, they could come to some amicable resolution so we don't go through the drudgery of another long voting. It could be done. But I can assure you that even if we spend about an hour, they can always alert the president to delay for an hour. I cannot foresee a constitutional crisis in the offing. What I can see is that it might delay a bit, but nevertheless, we will be able to complete the swearing-in ceremony. Another thing that I thought you would touch on is when this House, which is supposed to be a law-making body, had the benefit of a decision of the High Court that an individual should not, put himself forward as a member of parliament elect. And the chairman of the proceedings so ruled. I was ashamed that it was overturned, that the individual could now go and vote, and the law should take its course.
I thought there was a caveat that he could vote, but at his own risk, and that the law could come after him.
No,
even if he.
So it means that we endorse lawlessness. Do you know it's contempt of court to flout an order of the court?
The leader, and now I shudder to call any of the sides majority.
I was terribly ashamed.
The leader did make a statement at that point indicating that
they were both wrong. They were both wrong.
They were both wrong?
Yes, they didn't appreciate law.
But Honorable, you were in the chamber at the time, and you were a lawyer. You didn't make any statement.
What was I going to make? They've turned the whole thing into a ping pong. This one speaks and this one speaks. We have a chairman who is so lame, he couldn't bring order to bear on the proceedings. And people were drumming and all that. In that cacophony, where was the rationality of going to espouse the law?
You were silent when what you, in your view, was wrong was perpetrated. But you were silent, sir.
I'm telling you that the atmosphere was not an atmosphere of rationality. It was noise. Organized noise making, people banging the tables that they were seated on. What kind of logic will prevail in that noise? It was pathetic.
Honorable, thank you very much for your time. We are grateful. That was Honorable Atacha. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Honorable, for also joining us. So at the moment, if I were to ask you, where do we stand? What's the position right now? What would you tell me?
The position is clear. We spoke loud and clear. You know, Agman Sumanik Bagbin have been in this parliament. He's the longest serving member of parliament in this chamber. Look at how they try to use military force to enter chamber of parliament. We're supposed not to be so, to intimidate us, but we resist. We resisted. But at the end of the day, proceedings went on well. You were well witness to, you are all witness to what happened in the parliament. And then you saw the vote counting, and Agman Bagbin won 138 votes, one spoil paper, and they had 135. Look at a member of parliament and a minister, former minister, snatching ballot paper. Is that not rudeness?
Where, at what point was this? No, I saw the snatching, I saw the running away and so on. But my question is, you are referring to figures, 135 against 138 yes. And so on. Where were these declarations made?
No, they were counting, we all saw it. The counting was going, even you can go back to the tape.
Where the ballots belonging to Mr. Alban Bagbin also counted. We saw the counting process when it was going on for Professor Michael Quay. Yes. But did you also witness the counting of ballots for Mr.
Yes.
Bagbin?
Honorable Mutaka and the lady who is close to Honorable Mutaka was counting Agban Bagbin's ballot papers as well. So at the end of the day, that is at the point Honorable Mutaka make indication that we have won with 2 votes, and he did like this. We all saw it. So if you are not happy, then you relax, and we go back to recounting. At the end of the day, you snatch the ballot paper, and they choose some of them. And as I'm talking to you, there are 2 of them missing. So my point is that when they are saying that certain member of parliament, a court have served on the person, a court did not serve on the what? The member of parliament. The rate, the order was issued 4:30 thereabout, and then when you look at the rate of service, they say they have saved the person around 4:45. Does it mean you take 15 minutes from Cape Coast to chamber? Is that what they are saying?
Honorable, thank you very much for your time. We have a lot more persons to. Honorable, good to see you. Even before we get into the details, you were in Parliament throughout the night as well. We as neutral observers, as Ghanaians who are very much interested in how you represent us in the House, we are not excited about the way things went down. We're pushing each other, almost punching each other at certain points, verbally abusing each other, kicking ballot boxes. These were not very good scenes, Honorable.
In fact, I'm also not proud as a Ghanaian today, because what has happened on the floor of Parliament is unacceptable. And everybody must condemn it. But you see, if you support the MPP today, you must bow down your heads in shame, because you saw all that happened on the floor of Parliament. The Constitution and our standing orders are so clear that in electing a Speaker of Parliament, we must go for a secret ballot. And that is what MPP did not want to do, because they knew that if we go for a secret ballot, there is no way Professor Michael Quay was going to win.
But in the past, Honorable, in the past, there are rules, but there are also conventions. We are aware that you have voted using the same procedure.
Yes, it was only Prof. Okoye who was nominated. There was no other person. And so it wasn't competitive. So whether we use secret ballot or not, I mean, the interest on our side was not strong. This time we also nominated a candidate. And so we wanted to make sure that the due process is followed. That is all. And that is what the people on the other side, the MPP, will not listen to. That is what led to all these unfortunate incidents that we saw. And you see, they have shown us that we must stand our grounds, because they are rhetorics. Oh, if you don't agree, go to court. If you don't agree, go to court. It's because of what they know they have done. And that is why when we came in today, we said that we will make sure that the right thing is done. Another lowest point that we saw today was the invasion of the armed military officers to the Chamber of Parliament. This is a serious embarrassment to us as a country. It is so unacceptable. I don't know whose decision it was to bring in, and I don't know
but
what
to be
the
fair,
motive
Honorable,
was.
yes, we were all shocked, surprised and disappointed to see them, but to be fair, they also did not misbehave.
I'm not saying they misbehaved, but I'm not saying they misbehaved, but their presence alone with weapons on the floor of Parliament was bad enough. Their presence in the, I mean, it was so unacceptable. I don't know what will be going through the minds of President Akufo-Addo. He must bow down his head in shame today. It is something that let's see what he will say today when he comes for the swearing in. And let me tell them, we in the
going for the swearing in.
We in the NDC are not in a hurry. We have all the patience to wait for the right thing to be done here. They are the people who are in a hurry to go and swear in Nana Akufo-Addo. So if they will not let the right thing happen today, we are here observing. But we are going to insist that the right thing is done.
Thank you very much, Honorable. And you may have realized that we're speaking to a lot more of the NDC members of Parliament because they are the ones we are currently seeing, and that's why we're talking to them. But we've earlier spoken to Honorable Samuel Atacha, and then also Honorable Samuel Abu Jinapo, who is also a member of the MPP, and they have been in Parliament also. But Samuel Jinapo, yes.
He is the NPP.
Yes, for Damango.
John.
Yes, Samuel is the one I was referring to.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. But yes, I saw you also in the chamber. You looked angry at a point. What caused your anger?
The mess that was happening on the floor is what caused me to look angry. But I knew that we were going to control the situation, and that's exactly what has happened. You see, this is the first time I've been here for 2 terms already. I'm into my 3rd term. I've never seen military men enter the chamber. Even police who accompany officials, ministers, and so on to Parliament stay out of the area of the maze. But look at military men today invading, literally, Parliament, coming face to face with MPs, leadership. For whatever reason,
Honorable, that is condemnable, yes, and we many Ghanaians have condemned that. But sometimes also we need to get to the roots of the matter, which is the fact that members on the floor of Parliament kicked ballot boxes, kicked and picked away booths meant to protect you whilst you went there to vote. There were fisticuffs, physical attacks and verbal abuse from members of Parliament. That was also very unfortunate.
Granted that MPs did all of this that you have recounted, what gives the opportunity to soldiers to come to the floor? Where has it happened before? You see, we must be civil.
How would you have proposed that, given the circumstances at the time?
You would notice also that as soon as there was any type of altercation like that, we use our own leaders to resolve the matter. And every time it appeared coming soon, there was a way of resolving it within ourselves without having to bring in even the police or even the parliamentary security setup. So that what happened was way out of the way. You know, we do not have to justify it under any circumstance. Not at all.
Honorable, thank you very much. We are running out of time now, but let me speak to a few more. Honorable, thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Wisdom Gidisu. Yes, you won your seat again. Congratulations. But obviously, having been seeing and observing how even the international media were reporting what was happening in our parliament, we certainly are not proud, and you shouldn't be proud as well, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm very thankful, and like you rightly said, this shouldn't have happened at all. It was rather unfortunate that on the floor of Parliament, we are representatives of the people. We must lead by leadership, by example, and we are seen to be doing this. It is rather unfortunate. It is uncalled for, and it needs to be condemned by everybody. All international bodies need to be condemned. And this is the first time this thing has happened in the history of Ghana's parliament. In fact, it was uncalled for. It was rather unfortunate. But we pray that such things don't recur again. I am saying of the view that what we have seen today is a clear manifestation of what happened during the 2020 election. Ballot boxes were snatched, papers were torn, militaries were brought for intimidations or for whatever reason so far. It was all over the country. And the same thing has actually happened, it repeated itself in Parliament. It is rather unfortunate, and it must be condemned by all.
Honorable, so what's the state of affairs right now? We realize that it appears there's a recess, and we don't know from the outsider's point of view what's going on. You are from the inside. What's happening?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, like you have rightly said, it has come to the time. Now that we have gotten our speaker, won the election, Alban Bagby, we now left with the deputy speakers, the two deputy speakers. So I am of the view, and I'm clear in my mind, that it might be those things that are currently going on to see who occupy the first deputy speaker and probably the second deputy speaker.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Gidi. So we are grateful for your time. And I must also just remind you that we have been making several attempts to speak with as many MPs from both sides as possible. You realize that we were able to speak to only Honorable Samuel Jinapo, who is the MPP MP for Damango, and Honorable Samuel Atachia, who is the MPP MP for Ibuakwa South. And that's because a lot more of the MPP MPs who we can find around, especially where we are currently positioned, are unwilling to speak with us. But the news is that the leadership of both sides are currently locked up in a meeting. There are calls for a recount after the ballot box which contained some of the votes was snatched away by, unfortunately so, by Honorable Carlos Ahenkra, and it remains to be seen how the leadership will resolve this matter at the moment. When they come back and we have more information, we will certainly return to give you all that and more.
Okay, thank you very much, Abdul Hai Mumin. So that's my colleague Abdul Hai Mumin at the Parliament House, running interviews with some members of Parliament elect, and that's snatching of ballot paper. It's one thing that's still going to run, and is running deeply, even if we move on social media. Let me address some of your messages, and then we can move on. This one says that congratulations to all our parliamentary staffs for rendering a sincere service to Ghana. All right, thank you for your message. This one also says that if ballot box can be snatched in the presence of the security and the whole public, then Ghana, we are not safe, because we can also be snatched away at any time. This is coming from Empress. Empress, thanks a lot for sending us a message. Another one, 2 years later. Good morning. God bless all the parliamentarians for this peaceful election. What I have to say is NDC, God is alive and he never sleeps. This shows that the sitting, okay, we'll leave it there. And then this one says, George, good morning. Ghana is the ultimate winner and not any individual. It is high time both sides build that consensus to work together for the good growth of our dear nation, Ghana. All right, thank you very much for your message. This one also says that true, the parties can help, but the game has changed. Now it's all about money and someone who can really, who can rally people together. I believe voting of DCs is the only way out, and I'm sure he's addressing the issue we raised earlier concerning the role of members of parliament and how they should be seen. The message here, your guest is really a professional. I like his explanation. We need more people like him, and keep it up. So, Dr. Mauto. someone admires you. And this Otunfo says that Ghana is progressing in democracy. We should do all we can to protect it. I pray Bagbin wins. We have to condemn the attempt to snatch and destroy the ballots. This one, good morning, and as Ghanaians, I have slept watching what is going on. It's a shame because some of these members of parliament are lawyers and others not. They come together in they come together as lawmakers. Shameful act. The world is watching, and this is coming from Reverend Robert. Reverend, thanks a lot for your message. Another one. Good morning and greetings to Chairman K. All right, this MPs are the people who made have run down the country. They are disrespect to our people. This is what they did during the general election. This is coming from Nanache, who is reaching us from Accra. Another one. Good morning. Thanks for the great job you guys are doing today. I mean, this year, Ghanaians will reason and stop supporting political parties when even among themselves they are unable to have a peaceful election. How much more the whole country? This shows that they are the instigators of elections misconduct in this country. Both NDC and MPP need to put their political parties aside and think Ghana. Either that, there will be no headway in this 4-year, trust me, and this is coming from Nanama, who is reaching us all the way in Kanda, right here in Kanda. We'll continue with our conversation here with Dr. Mawoto. We're earlier talking about the role of members of parliament and what we should look out for. Then came in the conversation regarding the newcomers in parliament and all that. Just for our viewers and our listeners to know, we're just waiting for the final proceedings in parliament to end. We're waiting for the speaker to be elected or announced. We're waiting for the first deputy speaker, the second deputy speaker. When these three leadership of parliament is actually gotten, then we'll end this particular show. There's a new set. That's Morris and Thelma will take over, and they will take us through the inauguration process and also other sets of activities also that's going to happen. So we got you covered, both on television and both on radio and on the internet. So just stay with us. Don't go anywhere, right? Yes.
Oh, George. We are back at it again. So I mean, we have decided to stay. So this is what we can only present as to what they are also presenting to Ghanaians and the world as a whole. It's just unfortunate that today our honorable men cannot be described as honorable. Yeah. And I think they have denigrated our parliament to a large extent. And if this was in a local environment, they should have been summoned to the palace. I mean to do the right for. It even though, I mean, on a lighter note, I think it's not the best of things that we saw today. Going back to where we were, I think it's very important that, I mean, this is even a depiction of the need to train MPs when they are elected through the primaries, to know that at least, no matter the case, there are some points you don't go beyond. You don't hit below some point where you have MPs, snatching ballots. It's not acceptable. Now, currently there's a stalemate again. That there should be re-election, because we had Honorable Jinapor, who is on the view that there should be re-election.
But it was their side who snatched the ballot paper.
Oh, I mean, you don't say the side. It's an individual who should be dealt with accordingly.
From their side?
Yes. Who should be dealt with accordingly. Oh, no. I agree to that. But you see, they can also not say that they have won if indeed Honorable Bagbin's vote have not been counted. But we all know that you can do the calculation.
You can do the calculation
the mathematics.
and get the winner.
If we are expecting that, okay, we should have at least 138 to have won the ballot. And then we've counted, there were only 2 people, and we've counted 1, which is 136. Presumably, the other candidate had won the speaker. So, you know, they'll surely make a headway. I learned the leadership is meeting, and probably we hope that the issues will be addressed for us to come back to the chamber and then start business.
Okay.
Now, the issue of majority.
We have to wrap up, though. So
yeah, the deputy speaker,
the first deputy speaker, the second deputy,
and then the second deputy speakers. We don't know. I don't think they did nominate. I mean, the motion was moved for.
No, in that process.
Yeah, yeah. Those ones have not been done yet, and we know that ultimately the NDC and MPP will once again put forward some candidates, because the constitution provides that these deputies, okay, should form part of the both political parties in there.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. I mean, both the that is, if there is majority and minority, one of them should be part of them. So there's a possibility that we may have that in there. Then we'll be faced with another nomination as to who becomes the majority leader of parliament as well as a minority leader of parliament. Look, from where I sit this morning, I think it can go either way. If really what we are witnessing is to go by, then it's possible that independent man has taken probably a very objective stance. Even though physically, I don't know. I mean, I'm only conjecturing. I'm only conjecturing. Physically, he's sitting with the MPP.
Yes,
but he wants.
Or maybe he might have voted for Michael Kwe. I mean, you wouldn't know. He might have voted for.
So, as to who will be the majority leader, it's still open. It is still open.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still open.
Look,
so
we'll leave it here. Thank you very much. I mean, you'll be with us from yesterday all the way into this morning. We're grateful for your time. We appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. You spent the night here with us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And also thanks to Seth Echampon, who was the Honourable Member of Parliament for Imprior, so a member of the 7th Parliament. I also say thanks to Ras Mubarak, the former Member of Parliament for Kumbungu. He also joined us via Zoom. We also spoke to Honorable Magnus Amate, who is the former Member of Parliament for Ilo Krobo. He was part of the 7th Parliament and the 6th Parliament. That's why we wrap up at this particular edition of the program. We're not done yet. We're running with you till the end of everything is said and done, when the President-elect and the Vice President-elect are sworn in. Subsequently, we'll have a conversation after that one that we can wrap up with the entire event and still continue with our program in here. So don't go anywhere. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, 2 of my colleagues who join, and they are going to take over. Morris and Thelma will take over. My name is George Safo. It's always a pleasure joining you when I have to join you. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.